But today what we wanted to talk to you about is an excuse that we hear all the time when it comes to talking to people about eating plant-based and the health that comes with it and the longevity that comes with it and just all the science around health and longevity and eating plant-based or mostly plant-based. An excuse we hear constantly is, well, so-and-so, and sometimes it's my aunt, sometimes it's an uncle, sometimes it's my friend's cousin. Like there's always, somebody always knows someone who drank and smoked and ate, processed food and ate hot dogs twice a week and whatever excuses they have. And they live to be, they're 87 or they're 92 or, whatever age they are. So there's always a couple of different questions I ask. The first one is, well, how's their health? Because typically people who eat that way and don't take good care of themselves, they might get to be that age because the modern medicine miracle can keep you on drugs and all kinds of stuff, and yes, you'll be alive, but what's your quality of life?
Exactly.
So that's the first question I ask when someone tells me they know someone who has taken horrible care of themselves and they're well into their
they're existing.
They're existing.
And that's what it is. It's an existence. It's
whatever
not a
that
life.
looks like. Yeah. So that's the first question I ask is, what's their quality of life? Now, are there people who, hey, Carol, it's good to see
Carol,
you.
good morning.
Are there people who take terrible care of their bodies and manage to, beat the odds and live a long time and still have a reasonably, healthy life? Yeah, there are some. And if you want to
roll that dice,
put the odds of the lottery on your health and longevity, by all means.
And here's the thing about that I've experienced is that when people tell you that, they don't look at it from the perspective of that person's rare. It's a unique situation that nobody can explain.
Right.
They look at it as in, so if they did it, I can do it. Like they think it's that easy. Like well, obviously, he did it, so I can do it. And no, it's not how it works. I mean, there's something genetically freaky about that individual.
Right.
That's allowing that to happen. Most people aren't that freaky.
And it's called survivor's bias. Yeah, and that exactly, Adele. Why risk it? Why do that to yourself? So the survivor's bias is that people who have lived through something will say it wasn't that bad because they lived through it, not taking into account all the people who didn't live through it. So that, and obviously as a psychologist, I always want to get into, well, that's survivor's bias. But what I've found, the best response I've found that seems to really shut people down who want to use that as an excuse and try to tell me that's why I'm wrong about what I'm trying to say. Good morning, Jolyn. Good to see you.
Good morning, Jolyn.
California.
Hey,
I love my California.
It's early there.
I think I have my California hat on today. You guys probably can't see it, but it does say California on it. The thing that I say that usually makes people kind of just walk away is there are a lot of people who ride motorcycles without helmets. That doesn't make it smart.
Right.
So yeah, you could ride a motorcycle without a helmet. You can eat whatever you want, and you can hope that nothing crazy happens and you don't have a crash. But
it's like playing the lottery. You play the lottery thinking you're going to win, hoping you're going to win because somebody did win. We see it on the news all the time, but the odds aren't great. So that's the game you're playing.
Right, exactly. And so I'm sure if you guys are trying to be healthier and trying to eat healthier and moving toward being plant-based, that when you talk to people, they've got every excuse in the book as to, why you're wrong or it doesn't work or it's not necessary or, whatever. But if you're hearing this one, which, I'm guessing you are because we get it on our posts all the time.
All the time.
People are all the time telling us, well, I did this and it worked, or this person does that and they lived a long time. You can go into the science of survivor bias, or you can just give them an example of things that people do that aren't safe.
Yes.
Think about seatbelts too. If you're as old as we are, you remember when seatbelts weren't mandatory. You didn't have to wear them, and
some people don't wear them because they remember not having to wear them and they think they shouldn't have to wear them.
Right, but how often do you hear about accidents where people get into accidents and it's like, well, they didn't have their seatbelt on, and then you're like, well, that was dumb.
Well, right here by us where they have a state troopers building, they actually have a sign that tells you automobile-related deaths, and they have drunk-related and they have seatbelt-related. And it's actually, you get more people die from the seatbelt-related accidents. They didn't have a seatbelt on.
I think there's a combination too, where people are drunk and don't have their seatbelt on. And so why do that with your health? If you know that, for example, wearing a helmet on a motorcycle is a smart thing to do, because if God forbid, there's an accident, you want your head protected. It's an important thing.
Yes.
Same with your health. Like if you know that you could do things like eat plant-based, eat more whole food starches, eat your beans, all the things we talk about, your greens, all the stuff that we talk about, if you know you can do that and it's going to give you a better chance to live a long and healthy life, why wouldn't you do that? Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It's just one of those interesting things, I guess, for me. You can ignore the computer.
I know. Sometimes things pop up.
The computer
what?
gives us alerts
What?
and he gets freaked out about it, but it's fine.
It's all good.
Do you have any other thoughts about people? And the other thing is, you can't change someone's mind. If they're not ready, no matter what you say, they're going to have an excuse, and that's okay. And I literally have gotten to the point where when people are arguing with us on our pages, on our posts, I will just say, you know what? Do you? I'm here to share the knowledge and the science that we have to help people who want to be healthy and who want to be the high achievers and want to make a difference in their life. If that's not you, then this isn't for you, and that's okay.
And that's a key point. We want to help the people that want the help.
And
we're not looking for the people that want to fight us. We're not sitting here trying to force feed people, sort of no pun intended. You know, this is the information we have, and hopefully it works for you. And if it does, that's fantastic.
And you know, if you watch us regularly, that I grew up on a beef ranch. I have 7 siblings. None of them eat this way.
And I'm an ex-competitive bodybuilder. I was one step away from being a professional bodybuilder. And believe me, I used to put down a lot of animal products for protein because I thought that's what you had to do.
And you have to just let people kind of, put the information out there, plant that seed. I actually talked to a client yesterday. She's down 80 pounds. Mm-hmm. So impressed with her. And she told me, she said, Robin, when you first told me, she was talking about intermittent fasting. She said, when you first talked to me about intermittent fasting, I thought you were crazy. Mm-hmm. And now she does it. She does, she eats only 4 hours out of the day. So she eats between, I think, 4 and 8 p.m. I think we've talked about her before. And it's done amazing things. She's lost 80 pounds. She looks so good. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I would encourage you. When people are giving you these kind of excuses, that's them. That's their stuff. It's their story. And you can plant the seed. You can share why their logic is flawed. Although I can tell you that if you're talking to them on Facebook, they'll just delete the comment.
Right, exactly. And actually, she went for the full thing because she also purchased our masterclass. Like, she wanted to know everything. So.
Right, yeah. She did. We were talking about intermittent fasting, but she does plant-based, and she does the whole R&R plan thing. So, but she's taken her about a year, but she lost 80 pounds. Yeah. So, do you have any other weird excuses that people give? We talked yesterday about people saying it works and what that means.
The big one I get, and I talked a little bit about this yesterday, the big one I always see is, well, I lost 60 pounds on this, or I was able to lose 10, well, we saw today 10 pounds. And my question always is, well, what do you look like now? Have you been able to get your weight down to a ideal body weight, and have you been able to maintain it? And every single case I see is no. They've not only gained back the weight, they've gained back more than what they originally lost. Yeah. And because when you do these diets, when you do these types of voodoo things, I like to call them voodoo things, why not? They're not sustainable. Nobody can be on a keto diet forever. You'll die. I'm sorry, you just will. You won't get enough nutrients.
Your cholesterol go up to 450.
And even the people, we got a case of people use the Eskimo excuse. Well, how about the Eskimo? The Eskimos weren't doing keto. No. That's a misnomer. They were never in ketosis. They were getting enough fiber and nutrients from the animals that ate such things like the kelp or whatever they were eating in the water to stay out of ketosis.
And they weren't healthy.
They died 60 or younger. I mean, if that's your goal, exactly. If your goal in life is to be 60 or done, then,
Yeah, you're right. It does seem like everybody's keto, and it's just, they're convinced. And it's frustrating, and the reason they're convinced is because they see results, they see weight loss. But what they'll find, and I see this because people come to me all the time and say, okay, I was doing keto and I was losing weight, but I'm miserable. I have keto flu. I have the black eyes that come with keto. My GI tract doesn't work.
We saw that one guy at that event we went to that told us he was keto. And I thought he was The Walking Dead. I swear, it scared me.
He looked like he was on chemo.
It
he looked
scared me.
terrible.
He looked so bad.
Yeah. What is Adele saying? Ask them how their blood work numbers look. And that's the thing. So we asked somebody who was on keto, because we were talking about this way of living, and they were like, no, my blood work is good. My cholesterol is 125. And I kind of tilted my head because I know that's not possible. And he was like, oh, but I'm on a statin.
Yeah. So you really.
All right, so if you're eating in a way that requires you to take pharmaceuticals for your numbers to be good, there's probably a problem. And that doesn't even solve the issue of the damage that it does to your organs and the extra protein that does. So, you like my California cap? I do too. It makes me happy.
She has a California shirt too.
I do.
Yeah, it looks like, what does it look like? It looks like a Coca-Cola, which.
Yeah.
So he always explains it's not.
I always explain it, but it says "Enjoy California" on it, and it's it's cute. So, yeah, I love my California stuff. You know, that's the thing about California. Born and raised there. Once you're from there, you're always from there, no matter where you live.
I'm from Jersey.
That's not nearly as impressive.
No, it's not impressive to me.
Do you have anything else you want to add about this? If you guys have any like arguments or excuses or nonsense that you hear on a regular basis, let us know, because I'm cultivating a really good plethora of answers to people when they give me ridiculous excuses for things.
Exactly. No, I think that's it. That's all I have today.
All right, we said it at the beginning. I want to say it again. Make sure that you like and you share and you subscribe and you let other people know, because we're not doing this for our health. We're doing it for yours.
Hopefully.
So tell other people about us, because we're always happy to share this information. You can go to rnrjourney.com and become a member. When I find articles, I do post them on the community page. There's conversation going on there. There's a lot of stuff there.
And that allows us, memberships is what allows us to keep doing this, quite honestly.
It is true.
You know?
And our webinar at howtofeedahuman.com. And you can also on the rnrjourney.com, when you become a member, I put recipes, and kind of not recipes like do this exactly, but recipes like here's how you cook this way, so that you can learn to be more comfortable in the kitchen with eating plant-based foods. Because I think that's what makes cooking enjoyable, is the ability to kind of take a recipe and say, oh, I can play with this. So that's the way I write my recipes, is try some of this, put some of that. If you have this, put that in there. And some people love it, and some people are like intimidated by it. But I think it's a really great way to help you become more comfortable in the kitchen.
And I'm the experimental rabbit. I eat all the food.
He does eat everything.
And I say, yeah.
I think only once have we had to throw something away.
That was the sauce. That was the gravy.
And it had too much sage in it.
Yeah, so it tasted like a little bit like the earth.
Yeah, it was very earthy. Ugh, I didn't like it at all.
Right.
But
other than that, everything else has been.
Anything else we need to tell them on Thursday?
No. I think that's it.
All right. Well, let's tell them goodbye and let them go about their day.
So with that, we will say, eat real food, mostly plants. Have a great day, guys.
Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.